Hey everybody, welcome to the Max Show. That is Massive Abundance Exposed, where we expose the badass secrets of entrepreneurs all over the world. And do we have an amazing entrepreneur today? My name again is Chris Stafford. Welcome to the show. We are going to interview today Allie Rittenhouse. Allie is brilliant. The woman knows so much about helping entrepreneurs with their technological issues, and Lord knows do we all have technological issues. She has helped people to make consistent six-figure incomes. Look at some of the testimonials at the bottom of the screen. It's just amazing what she's done. She is so vibrant and such a great personality. I'm really looking forward to interviewing Allie so that she can figure out for all of us how we can better use technology, because Lord knows we all need it. So I'm really looking forward to the interview. We're going to get started in a second. But before you do, make sure you jump on to MassiveAbundanceInc.com. Sign in there and get yourself some free goodies. And let's get started with Allie Rittenhouse. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Max Show. And we have none other than Allie Rittenhouse in the house. How are you doing, Allie?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Great, great. I'm just so jazzed. I'm really looking forward to talking to you today. I'm really looking forward to it a lot. So before we get started, because there are so many really cool things I want to talk about your business, before we get started with that, I thought for all of our viewers, we would give them the benefit of a little bit of background about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you're at today.
Well, my name's Allie Rittenhouse, and I am from a small town in Ohio. It is actually called Sydney, not Sydney, Australia, unfortunately, Sydney, Ohio.
Cool.
And about 8 years ago, I started my business in an even smaller town that was a little bit down the road, and instantly found out how to use technology for my business and for other businesses. So from this really small town, I have been able to successfully launch an international business that helps entrepreneurs leverage technology for more lucrative results. So I got started helping out businesses behind the scenes, and then I've now kind of evolved into helping them actually implement everything, or all the pieces of the technology into their own business. And so that's me. Here I am. I'm blessed. We have a small, tiny farm. Not really a farm, as people would say, but we have 2 dogs. We have 3 cats, a lizard. I think that's it for our farm family. And then
okay, well, listen, I live in downtown San Francisco, so for me, that qualifies as a farm.
Yeah, it's a mini farm. It's just a mini farm. We love animals. And then we have a 13-year-old too. So she is actually probably who inspired me to start my business, because I was young and didn't really feel there was a place for me in corporate America in this area, you know, where I could really expand my knowledge, and my skills that I had didn't really fit any jobs around here. So, you know, I took a $10 an hour job, and it wasn't fulfilling my needs. So, or giving me the opportunity to inspire my own daughter. So having this business has helped me spread my wings and do more than I probably would have been able to find in a regular job here in Ohio.
That's great. That is terrific. You know, what I love about it too is I always love people, and there are many people that are a lot smarter than I am when it comes to technology, and you're certainly one of them, Allie. Tell me this now. Question: are you specialized just in working with women, or no?
No. Well, so majority of my clients have been women, because I think women are attracted to women, and guys like to work with guys, you know? So that has just been my main attraction. We have recently shifted my branding a little bit to accommodate some more of the gentlemen, because I was getting emails from guys that were saying, Allie, I love your stuff, but it's so pretty. And, you know, I just don't feel connected with the design of it. So I wanted to be able to accommodate to everybody. And so we've kind of shifted the branding a little bit to open up the gateways, because it's so funny. The guys feel like I've left them out. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving you out. I'm not. So, yes, cool. So we do work with men and women.
Well, tell me this then. So you are working, helping entrepreneurs, and keeping in mind too that the majority of the people that are going to be watching this show really are aspiring entrepreneurs, if you will. A lot of realtors that are either just starting or have been in the business like say 2 to 5 years. So they're really trying to figure out ways to ramp up their business. And you and I were talking before we started recording, and that was why entrepreneurs are maybe a little reticent to really embrace technology. What is it? What's your ideal client that you would work with, and what do you actually help them with?
Well, I love the client that says, you just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Those are the greatest, because they come to me and they're like, I'm ready to embrace whatever you want me to do. I know that you know what I should be doing. So those are the greatest clients to me. I love movers and shakers, people that are ready. They're intimidated by it, because everybody is intimidated by technology. I mean, I do too. I know a lot about technology. I know a lot about coding, but there are still things that scare the bejeebies out of me, like PHP coding. I know HTML, and I used to code sites from the ground up.
Wow.
PHP is something that just I never really took on to. It was more just HTML coding. So everybody has their thing that they are scared of.
Right.
But when you are willing to learn it and embrace it and take it on into your own business, I love that, because you can be taught to do anything. I mean, you can be taught to be a rocket scientist if that's what you want. But it's something you do have to want to learn how to do too, because we all know that technology, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
So
are you actually getting clients of yours to actually do coding and to really get into? Okay. All right.
No, no, that's just.
I'm starting to get hives, Allie.
I don't want to freak anybody out. And actually, the technology that I teach, I have found in 8 years the tools that make it easy for you, so that you don't have to learn coding. Like 8 years ago, when I was first getting started, people were hiring me to do code because there weren't tools like WordPress that made it easy for you. So I would spend hours coding their sales pages because they didn't know how to. Where now, I teach entrepreneurs how to use tools like Optimized Press or Premise that don't require you to do any coding. I mean, there's a couple elements that you need to be familiar with, like color codes and stuff like that, but you don't have to manually do anything. It does it for you.
Cool.
So that's kind of the technology that I'm teaching to people, is what makes it easy for you, because technology does make it possible, but you have to use it.
What do you think is the biggest, Allie, what do you think is the biggest the biggest concern that most entrepreneurs are not doing? What's the biggest thing that they're missing when in the use of technology?
Well, there's a lot of different pieces of technology. So people get overwhelmed by it, right? And they're not really sure where to go. So what they do is they take on everything and don't do any of it well. We find this especially popular with social marketing, right? People just hop on Facebook and hop on Twitter, but they don't really know exactly the right way to do it. So what I suggest with people is taking that one piece of technology, learning it, implementing it well, doing it consistently, then moving to the next piece. Because if you try to take them all on at one time, you're going to get overwhelmed, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to shut down, you're not going to do any of it.
Right.
So I really like blogging. Okay. If somebody comes to me and they say, I want to blog and I want to do social media. So first we work on their plan for their blog so that they can be consistent with it, that they're doing it every week and making sure that they keep up with it.
Right. Once
they've got their plan in place and their actionable plan of how they're going to make this all work, then we kind of start to move into the social media aspect of it. That way you're like you're not going out and just like trying to do it all at once.
Right. I love it. That's great. I mean, and Allie has an amazing website, guys. You definitely want to check out AllieRittenhouse.com. It'll definitely be in the show notes, but she has all kinds of really good information. She herself has a really cool blog. I love your blog, and various coaching programs. And it's an amazing site. What you've accomplished from Sydney, Ohio is truly, truly admirable. But let me ask you this, though. I mean, I'm sure that all entrepreneurs, all of us, myself included, have had major challenges, obstacles that we've had to overcome. In starting your business, what was sort of like your biggest challenge or your biggest obstacle, and how did you overcome it?
Well, for me, I was a high school dropout, which had happened like 7 or 8 years before I started my business.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, that was like,
That was just a couple of years ago, right, Allie?
yeah, that was just, I wish yeah, I'm older than you think I am. I get that a lot. Like, I take my daughter to the doctor's office, and they're like, oh, that was really nice of you to bring your younger sister to the doctor. And, I should be, like, very honored
That's
by that,
awesome.
and it should be a compliment. But then when I tell them it's my daughter, they look at me like, so were you 11 years old when you had her? Like, it completely, like, throws them.
I love it. So your biggest challenge.
Yeah, so that was, like, so hard for me to get over. Like, who was going to want to work with somebody that was a high school dropout was what I kept telling myself.
Mm-hmm.
I never focused on what my actual skills were and what I had actually already accomplished in my young life.
Right.
So once I got over that huge obstacle of it didn't matter what my education back then was.
Right.
It mattered what I could do now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I really started to focus on that and what I could do for entrepreneurs, everything changed. Everything shifted because they weren't saying, when I got on consultations with them, they weren't like, so tell me about your high school. Mm-hmm. Did you do college prep classes? Did you make 4.0? They didn't care about that.
They want results.
They wanted to know what I could do for them right now and for their business right now.
Right. That is very cool. I really like that a lot. Now, have you personally had a failure with yourself, with your business, that you had to really overcome?
I think I've had a lot of them.
We all have, yeah.
I mean, the thing that I get from a lot from people is that I just put stuff out there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't wait around for it to be the right time. I trial and error it. So I put it out there, and I might not get the exact number that I'm looking for.
Right.
And some people would say that would be a failure, right? But for me, I'm like, you know what? I put it out there. I still brought in 5 figures from it. So it really wasn't that big of a failure. So for me, my failures aren't necessarily failures. They are, I guess, obstacles. They're going back to obstacles that I just, like, I have to jump over it. I have to accomplish it. And even if I didn't do it well, maybe I really struggled climbing up that wall. Right. But I got over it, you know? And so what I do is, like, anytime I feel like something may not have been executed as well as it should have been, or wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be, I just go back and I review it and I say, okay, how can I do this better and relaunch it? Because what happens with people where they say failures is they don't relaunch it. They put something out there once. It may not work for them, and they say, you know what, that didn't work. I'm scrapping it. I'm never doing that again. Whereas if you tweak it a little bit and you figure out maybe what didn't work and fix that, you can relaunch it into making it a success. So I'm sure that there's a lot of failures that I have, but I don't focus on them because, like, the first time that I, launched my program for entrepreneurs, which is the Geek Lab for entrepreneurs, it was 10 weeks of learning, and it was a lot of information. And one thing that I realized was that entrepreneurs were busy. They didn't have that 10 weeks to implement everything into the program. They needed it broke down into smaller bits and pieces. It was still a fabulous program. They were just really overwhelmed by information because there was so much. So when I could go back and I could tweak that and then relaunch it, it no longer became a failure. It became a success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
you're learning. I mean, you're learning from basically what you're doing. You're actually taking action and learning from doing it. Yeah. So I mean, yes, I've had failures, but I don't think that I think of them as failures. I think of them as just, oh well, I gotta tweak it and make it a little bit better. Right, got it. It's like me putting out a blog post or putting something out there on a sales video page or something, and it doesn't work, and you're like, oh my God, should I just scrap the whole thing and start over, or should I try to tweak it? And that's really great advice. And I think that basically, what did I hear somewhere that somebody told me that failure is, or successful people are the people that actually pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and keep going. The failure is when you don't pick yourself up. I mean, that's the biggest problem. But now you, Allie, you have an aspect of business. You deal with an aspect of business around technology and helping entrepreneurs with technology. To me, it feels like that would be like the biggest failure rate that a lot of us entrepreneurs, myself included, have. So it sounds like to me like you must be like a counselor, like a psychotherapist sometimes. How do you handle these entrepreneurs that say, Allie, that doesn't work. I don't want to do that optimized press or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and Mercury in retrograde, oh, tell me, like having to deal with that all the time. So what I deal with technology problems too. You know what I mean? Like every business has it. Like I didn't get to launch one of my videos last week till 11 p.m. because of technology. And I could have sat and cried my eyes out the next day because it didn't go out till 11 p.m. But I didn't. I was just like, it was technology.
Right.
It's like you're a scapegoat. But no, so what I try to do is I try to find what tools are going to work for each individual, right? So if they come to me and they're like, optimized press, it's not that great, you know, or Aweber, it's not that great, then I'm like, well, what about MailChimp? Or what about Constant Contact? Even though I don't love those programs and I probably, it's hard for me to recommend them. What I try to do is I try to find that piece of technology that's going to make somebody actually use it. Because we find time and time that if somebody doesn't love the technology they're using, they're not going to use it. And then it does become a failure for them.
Right.
So I'm okay with somebody using something like MailChimp or Constant Contact if it's going to get you to use it.
Right.
So there's plenty of tools out there. If somebody doesn't like optimized press, then I'll tell them to check out lead pages, because lead pages are just like super simple. You can't mess that up. You know, it really does the work for you. So there's plenty of tools in the pool to give to somebody that may not like one or already had a previous encounter and they are not going to go back to it because of how scared they are. So, you know, I find that, yes, I am a little bit of a tech counselor, a tech cheerleader, where I'm encouraging them to give it another shot.
That's good.
You know, when you said about putting up a page and it may not work, like, right now we're doing a product launch and I'm hearing from all kinds of entrepreneurs that they put something out there once, it didn't work for them, and they just throw their hands up in the air and say, oh, I'm done. And it's like, well, maybe let's try something else. So if you don't think the optimized press works for you, let's check lead pages out. Let's see if you can easily set that up. Or let's do a little bit of testing to see it did work for you, but you just didn't have enough seeds planted.
Right.
So I'm helping them dive in and look at it in ways that they never did before. So I guess that is what a counselor
that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I never realized it like that.
And you're doing such a great job at it too. I mean, just look at your success. Everybody has to go to her website, AllieRittenhouse.com. Hey, listen, I'm a little bit of a digression here. Using Infusionsoft right now, and you've probably heard of Infusionsoft, and there's a new product, I guess, a relatively new product called Office Autopilot. Do you have any opinions on which one's better, or I won't hold you to it?
I have not personally used Office Autopilot yet. Like, it's one that I'm like, I have been drooling over it. I have to say, I have a really great relationship with Aweber, and so I'm torn with leaving them. Is the only reason I'm not on Infusionsoft or Office Autopilot, because I love them. They're like my baby. So
Aweber is your drug of choice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm like their number one testimonial too, so it really makes it a hard thing to walk away from. But I use Infusionsoft a lot with my clients, and it is a good tool. But you have to use it for your business. Like, you have to set the systems up. The marketing funnel tools that it can create for you are phenomenal.
Right.
The tools that you can use for affiliates. So one beef that I have with some affiliate tools, I won't mention any names, is that somebody has to click through that link.
Right.
And if somebody clears their cookies out, that affiliate link's gone. That tracking's gone. Whereas with Infusionsoft, if somebody clicks on that link, it's stored in their contact information forever. So if they buy now or 3 years from now, that affiliate's going to get notified.
That's cool.
Office Autopilot kind of works the same way. But what I like about it is, one, you don't have to pay the $1,500 fee to get started, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And two, they have great tech support, just like Infusionsoft too. So they are definitely two compromisable,
Right.
programs.
Mm-hmm.
I think one's got a little bit better than the other. Infusionsoft still has a lot of bugs, in my opinion. I think Office Autopilot works a little bit more smoothly, and hasn't had some of the issues that I have had with releasing campaigns and things like that with Infusionsoft. So it really does go back to a personal preference.
Good.
And what I like about Office Autopilot is you can use their services. You have to pay for them, but you can use their services for 60 days. And if you're not 100% satisfied, you can request a refund and leave.
Cool.
I don't believe that you can do that with Infusionsoft. You pay that $1,500 consultation.
I think you're
fee,
locked into that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that bothers me too is like I've been using Infusionsoft so much, I don't need them to walk me through that, but I would still have to pay that.
Exactly.
So,
well,
it's like everybody's got their pros and cons.
Exactly.
You have to really find the piece that you are actually going to use. Because the only way it's going to work for you is if you use it.
There you go. There, you heard it from Allie Rittenhouse. Use it, people. Listen, let's switch.
Technology won't work if you don't use it.
There you go. True. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about big picture on the macro level. AllieRittenhouse.com. What is the next big thing, the next big vision on the horizon for Allie?
Well, I'm making this public. Like I've said some things on Facebook, but I'm bringing people to Ohio. Ooh. Everybody is going to come to Ohio, and we are going to have an awesome event. I've been talking about it for like 2 years now, I believe.
Wow. And
now it finally feels right. Like I'm checking the venue out next week, or this week. It's Monday. I'm checking the venue out this week and securing everything. And this fall, you are going to come to Ohio and see me in person.
That sounds
so
great.
I'm really, really excited about that. I was told that nobody would come to Ohio for an event. So naturally, of course, because somebody told me I wasn't going to do something, I can't do it. So that is probably like, we just launched my new site. So that was pretty big.
Cool.
My app, I have my own app in the iTunes and Android Market Store, and that's getting its facelift and boob job, as I said right now. And then, so then we're moving into to my event mode, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh, that's great.
Dayton, Ohio is really great. It's a fabulous place, and it's a lot cheaper than New York or LA or Las Vegas, where some other big events are.
Now, and what city will this be in, do you think?
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Okay, great. This fall.
It's like 30 minutes south of me.
Got it. Great. Okay, well, we'll be on the lookout for that. That sounds like really fun. Just briefly, what's the objective of this event that you're going to be putting on in the fall?
So this is not going to just be like an inspiration summit. This is going to be like you come and you walk away with learning how to pitch the media, how to look good on camera. We're going to bring in all kinds of experts that actually are teaching tangible items, because nothing bothers me more than to go to a conference for 2 days and to walk out just being inspired, not to really learn
a lot of
anything.
airy-fairy stuff,
Yes. So you're going to come and you are going to learn and be able to really start leveraging yourself online when you leave the conference.
I'm writing this down right now. Dayton, Ohio, this fall. That is the place to be.
Yes, and there's an airport there, and I'm going to make it super easy. The event's going to be downtown. We have this really awesome, quaint district that's the Oregon district that you're going to have live music, and you can go have a few beers after the event.
Oh, cool.
The venue is going to be an old local theater. It's just going to be awesome.
That sounds great. Well, we'll definitely put that in the show notes as well, too. And everybody, again, AllieRittenhouse.com, all the information will be there for you. You definitely want to attend that event. Finally, Allie, question for you. This is one of the things I usually conclude each interview with, the sort of, you've got a brand new entrepreneur in front of you. You've got a brand new realtor, and they're saying, Allie, what is the number one or the two most important things that I really have to take care of to be really successful as an entrepreneur? Go for it.
One is you have to have I would say email marketing lists. No matter what profession you are in, realtors especially can benefit from using an email marketing list to start connecting with their potential buyers. You can start, warming them up of what they have to have ready before they come to you looking for a home. There's so many opportunities out there for you. So that would be number one. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't need an email marketing list. Everybody needs an email marketing list. Even if you are a solopreneur that it just wants to service a couple of clients, you really do still need an email marketing list. So that would be my number one thing, because think about this. If Facebook or Twitter were to become the next MySpace and disappear tomorrow, what would you do? How would you market to people? So if you have an email marketing list that you have all of your people from Twitter and Facebook on your email marketing list, and you've got that community built, your business isn't in jeopardy, right? You still have every opportunity to market to them. So email marketing list would be like my number one thing. And my number two thing that really wasn't big when I started my business. In fact, people discouraged it when I was starting. One thing, people connect with me, right? They know that I'm a real person. They see me on video. They see pictures of me. They hear my voice. So if they were to like pass me walking down the road or at the airport, they would be like, hey, that's Allie Rittenhouse, because I have made such a relationship with them, right? So realtors especially, like, make a relationship with your potential people. Like, be a good friend to them. We recently just bought, this is our second house that we bought, just went through the process a year ago. And my realtor was like on my speed dial because we had some issues with the people that came and did the house appraisal and stuff like that. So she became my like new best friend, right? And then we bought the house, we closed, and I never heard from her again. I have never heard a checkup. I have never heard anything. And do you know, that really disappointed me. I was just like, really? Like, you made the sale and that was it? And I know us, we're going to buy another house, or we're going to like have friends that buy a house. And I'm like, I felt like, it was like a one-night stand, like they loved me and left me, So really build a relationship with all of your potential people, because that is going to last you years and years and years. Like, I have people that met me within like the third year of my business that are still following me, that still like say like, you haven't changed. Like, you're still open, you're still connecting, they feel really, really close to me. And that dynamic completely changes your business, completely the way that no other, I don't think you could do this with any other way of making a great relationship than just to be so personable with them.
I think that it's excellent advice. I love the email list, which is amazing, but also the relationship marketing, because there are a lot of studies on that right now too. And the old way was, as entrepreneurs, it was like, always be closing, always be closing, always be closing. Now it's all about developing the relationship and serving them first and then selling them later. And that's all about really having that relationship. I think that is just sage advice. Amazing.
And even after you sell them, still nurturing them, like, don't get their money and then not help them out. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that signs up for one of my programs knows that they pretty much, like, I don't want to say like get unlimited resources to me, but they know that if they have a question that they can come to me. Like, the sale is done, but they still might need help. So don't, take the sale and then run. Like,
Absolutely.
I probably won't recommend her to any of my friends, but if like I was still in contact with her, I would be like, heck yeah, she is the person you need to hook up with. So.
I love it. That is great. Great advice. Allie, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Again, we want to make sure everybody gets over to allierittenhouse.com. There are some amazing resources, programs there that you definitely have to check out. Allie, it was absolutely a pleasure having you on the show today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking me. I really appreciate it too. All the way over here from Ohio.
All right. And hopefully we're going to see everybody there with Allie in Dayton, Ohio this fall. Awesome.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Dance party, like all kinds of fun stuff.
That sounds great, Allie. Thanks so much. You take care.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Cool. How cool was Allie? I mean, I absolutely love her energy. She is so cool. And for somebody like that to be able to bring us the technology that we need, all of us entrepreneurs need Allie. Let me tell you, because I know myself included, it is so difficult sometimes to wrap my brain around technology. So you definitely want to jump on to AllieRittenhouse.com. Check out her programs. She can help all of us with a lot of her stuff. And I loved her email comment, making sure you have an email list and developing the relationships, because that's what it is. Whether you're talking about technology or not, as entrepreneurs, we all need to develop those kind of relationships. So, Allie, thanks so much. Make sure you do me a big favor. Jump on below and send me some love. Make some comments about what you think about Allie and the interview. I'd love to hear it, and so would she. And again, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Chris Stafford with Massive Abundance, and may massive abundance be yours.